getting back to the basics in some unique airspace.
Hey, Fuel Papa, where do you want to set that to us? Well, sir, we're going to be flying over Apple, and then NASA, Google, and then Facebook would be next, and then back towards San Carlos.
We're good, so let's go through this engine failure drill.
Ride along for a flight review over Silicon Valley.
You gotta look around and find your best field.
This one's about training first and filmmaking second.
Okay, so I'm gonna do cameras on this flight, so you can just think about flying, right?
Blinking? Yep.
We've done some awesome stuff with the channel lately. Like, too awesome. So awesome that I haven't been doing much regular flying.
Good prop!
I was keen to get back to basics in Northern California. The marine layer fog occurs here each summer. It allows for repeatable IFR approaches to minimums with totally clear blue skies above.
Guys, here we go into the clouds.
We had a film crew booked for the IFR flights to shoot B-roll, briefings, and capture live iPad video feeds.
On a day like today with 500-foot overcast, there's probably nobody in the pattern. I hope.
But before getting into actual IMC for the first time in ages, Jason wanted to get me back in the zone. Our first flight was to be a VFR flight review. Then, we'd move on to some scenario-based IFR training. Now, having no film crew for this VFR flight, we hadn't shot the briefing, but there's a recent podcast that essentially covers the briefing we had for this flight.
Hello aviators, and welcome back to the Finer Points.
Beyond getting me warmed up for IFR training, this was to be a VFR flight review with no crew and minimal fixed cameras, allowing me to focus on some solid training.
I always want my guys or girls to leave a little bit safer than when they walked in.
And Jason wanted to work on a few things I may not have practiced recently, or ever.
And to me, the big three risks are fire, failure, and collision.
So please check out the TFP podcasts. Meantime, here are some highlights from the 90-minute lesson.
I have no idea how much of this stuff you're gonna share. I'm forgetting the cameras are here. Just
That's
for the
good.
record.
That's how you have to do it. I mean, fundamentally, these things are for debriefing tools for real-world training. I mean, that's what the channel was about.
Flight 33, traffic.
All right, let me take it just for a second. So two things I'd like you to think about. One is I see a really tight grip. See if you can just kind of lighten it up. It'll get you down to the trim more. And the other is right rudder. So for that, let's just put you, give you like a little X. Focus on that X.
Jason teaches a technique about aiming small and using that little corner of the window in the Cessna to get pitch, roll, and yaw information, but it was being stepped on by ATC, so I'll put a few links in the description that expand on this concept.
Just finding good references. If you do that, the ball will always be centered.
Yeah, the reason why I was pulling was because I had it trimmed for cruise and I didn't trim for climb.
Right.
But I'm usually better at that once I'm trimmed for cruise.
Yep. And you're just steady on the rudder, right? Like just kind of good. The clue to me sometimes that people aren't using enough right rudder is kind of fudging that every few minutes. There's kind of like, because the plane's slipping like that, you know? Cool. And I'm gonna run my little flow check, which is what I do in every plane I fly, whether it's glass or not. To the oil pressure, temperature, ammeter, lights are good, power, and then I would just back that up quickly. That's just, exactly, just power, mixture, instruments, checklist complete. I just look at the safety items, and I keep it standard the same way every time.
Jason teaches that standardization goes with the pilot, not the airplane, and as a low-time pilot jumping in and out of several types, that philosophy keeps me safe.
Well, it's too bad we're not doing IFR today, man. The coast is going to be foggy pretty much all day today. That was so pretty when it does that. It's like a waterfall coming over the... You know. So that flow check that you keep seeing me do really catches a lot. Like, we never leaned for that level portion there at 3,800.
Right.
Because I forgot my flow check. So, I'm just going to keep doing it. Maybe it'll rub off on you. So in IFR, another reason I teach this flow check is you're never on flying the wrong heading. So level the turn coordinator, you got 162 or so. And the engine's good, ammeter's good, lights are good. Let's lean the mixture. Best power is fine.
Picture 76 Charlie, runway 31, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, runway 31, 6076 Charlie.
Then we just kind of back it up, make sure we're good. For cruise, we got power, mixture, instruments, engine gauges, heading indicator, checklist complete. Let's just discuss the engine failure thing really quickly. If you had an engine failure right now, you remember the speed?
33 traffic, Cirrus right big.
68. So I'm going to immediately turn for 68, I'm going to immediately look for a field.
Right.
And then I'm going to do my cause check to see if my day is going to actually be a bad day. So mixture, mags, fuel pump. check the tanks, maybe switch tanks. This might be a plane with a left or a right only. So
have you ever switched it in flight?
Yeah, so do it again. Do it now.
Just kind of manipulate it.
There's left.
All right, it still works. You go back to both. I just want to make sure you have done it.
Okay, so none of that worked. So the rest of it is DC, so declare and commit.
And where would you go right around here? Where would be your best field, you think?
Not a lot of options, but I got some clearings. There's not a lot here, man.
No.
Yeah.
Let's see how it would work. So let's go through it. So imagine we lost the motor. Show me what you would do.
It's been drilled into me that the first thing you want to do is pitch for best glide speed and then start looking for a field while you're trimming.
The wind is probably coming off the fog, just so you know.
Well, I don't know. We want to try getting into there. It looks like rolling hills is kind of clear.
Wow, a better one was right under our nose. What's the lesson in? Keep turning like you're doing. Keep circling right here. You're going to see it next time you come around.
Like, so the field right down here. I didn't ever see that one.
You see that? We could put it in there, right?
Yep. So we'll just do that. It's lined up even the right direction. It's even got a little dirt road.
Okay, great. Let's look for power lines in the next turn, but let's go ahead and go through that. You check system stuff. If we couldn't do it.
I did it already.
Good. So what are you going to do to shut the motor down?
Gotta pull the mixture, turn the mags off.
Good, and it'll shut off. Doors open so they don't compress, and if you've never done it, like sometimes I'll just show students, that's what it does. That's an open door.
Right.
It's not like it's gonna fly open.
Right.
But, you know, it won't compress and keep you stuck in here.
So I don't know my head above ground, so it's hard to know mathematically, but using the old angles trick.
This is about an 8-to-1 glide ratio in this airplane.
Yeah.
There's power lines.
Yeah, it doesn't look great, man.
Lots of power lines.
Yeah. Well,
it could be a power station we chose. I think we could go in long on the left there, though, right?
Well,
tough, man.
Go over the cliff.
Be tricky. We're on the downdraft side of this mountain. Just curious. Bring it in here for a second.
I'm gonna slip it in and see what we got. We're clean wings. Our speed is a little high right now, so I would drop some flaps.
Yeah, a bunch of them.
Yep. So I guess my wind is directly off the nose, so it doesn't matter which way I put my wing down for slipping.
That's correct. Yeah, but let's get a good look at it. Fire. Oh, let's get out of here, dude. Out. Full power, full power.
What do you got?
Full power. I got orographic turbulence on the downdraft side of the mountain. It's coming like 30 knots off the fog. It's literally like mountain flying right there.
Yeah.
It's like 30 knots of wind off the fog, pushing us down into that hill.
Okay. So choice was maybe not so good. I mean, looking at it, yeah, there were power lines, so I was going to try to get it right over those power lines and then have a tiny bit of the road and then hit some trees going 40.
I don't know that it was a really bad choice. I think you and I both realized as we got closer there were hazards we didn't see or higher up, right? Well, the bottom line is when we're flying out here, these are the kinds of fields you'd have to hit.
Right.
Next, we worked on a practical emergency descent.
Have you ever taken the fire extinguisher out?
Of the thing? No.
Yeah, try it. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
I don't know how I would do it.
Well,
so bottom line, you should probably practice that more than just check to make sure it's green.
Exactly, right? That's what I was thinking. It's like it was a long time in my flying before I actually pulled one of these out.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to just pretend we're cruising along and we've...
Yeah, like, do you smell that? It smells like fire.
Okay, so we got an engine fire, we think. So
not engine, may say electrical.
Oh, we don't know. We're going to pull the engine, we're going to turn everything off, but I won't really do it.
Yeah,
Everything's off. Master, Avionics master, everything's off.
Good. 45 degrees bank.
Engine's down to nothing.
Good. Now you'd don a smoke hood if there was smoke in the cockpit, right? That's about the right pitch. Let the speed catch up.
I want to go 120?
Yeah, but just let it catch up. That's about the right pitch.
So I'm not going to do anything to distract myself until I know that's stable.
Good, look at your VSI.
Well, it's pegged. Yeah, that's cool.
Good.
Okay, so this is stable speed. We're doing a pretty ridiculous descent. That's cool. So we're going to click these two thingies. Get that out. Okay, so I have the fire extinguisher out, and I would pull this pin. I can't do it with one hand, so that's interesting.
You'd ask me,
I'd be
right?
like, I'd try to do it. I don't know, but I wouldn't want my passenger to. So if I'm by myself, whatever. And then we're firing it.
Okay, good. I got it.
Now we got all kinds of white shit in here, so I'm gonna
open the window.
I'm not gonna open this window so the camera doesn't fly off.
Okay,
But we'll go ahead.
You want me to open mine?
Yeah, if I had a passenger, I'd get them to do it. I'd say it's safe. Just go ahead and do that.
Vent the cabin.
Speed is still stable. Descent is still stable. Here's a good point. The intercom is no longer working, so we're yelling at each other.
Yeah, that's right.
So I would say, take your headset off. We're gonna yell at each other.
It's loud out here.
Anyway, so that's our spot. So we did a quick descent from 55 to 25, and we're in a hole. We knew that, so that's our beach. Now we got some choices down here.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll board now.
Yep, let's go.
Okay, so we are now established in a climb, full power, rich, flaps are up. I didn't turn anything actually off. You're going to get that back safe?
Yep. You know, it's always funny when I start practicing these things. It feels like an impossible task, right? Like there's a lot to do. But I think if you think about like, you know, the military, the airlines or whatever, it's just a lot to do, but it's practicable.
Yeah.
And you can think through it.
But it was a good point to actually pull out the fire extinguisher because I realized immediately I can't do this with one hand and I don't want to let go while I'm in this weird steep descending turn.
Right. And I think any procedural training too, actually trying to go through the motions, touch the things, pull the things, whenever possible.
That's a memory I won't forget.
Yeah, that's good.
That was pretty visceral.
Right.
Okay, so in terms of execution, was there anything I could have done better, faster, smoother?
Your bank angle shelled a couple times to 30, but overall you were right on it. Like you got
speed was my main concern, yeah.
Yeah, you got right down to the right pitch. Most folks are a little shy on that, but you saw once you get the 45 degrees bank in the right pitch, you peg 2,000 feet per minute down. If you were to try that with flaps, which is always people's question, which way works better, you're going to see something more like in here, past 15, and you're always scared you're going to, you know, go past the VFE number.
Right.
Now, if I really had to do it, I'd do it clean. And then when I fly around here, by the way, I'm always looking for stuff like that. Okay, landing sites.
Right.
Like, boom, that's where we're going, unless you got something better.
I got an airport below us.
I'm taking it, Bonnie Doon. I love it. It's a private airport. Okay, let's turn right a little more. We're going to go right toward, see downtown San Jose over the ridge?
Yep.
We're going to go that way. We can actually head toward Silicon Valley. We need NorCal on 1201.
Side 42 November.
I'm proud to announce that a new FlightShops.com website just launched. It's got curated content and a much bigger contest than before with multiple winners each month. Prizes are currently worth over $6,000, so please check it out, share it, and press like on this video because that helps me out too.
So let's go through this engine failure drill. And imagine that's, you know, you got to look around and find your best field.
I see football fields right below me.
Are there any kids on them?
Well, yeah, one of them has kids, the other one doesn't.
Really want to think about that. You know, just it wasn't too long ago, 2 months ago, a father and daughter were walking down the beach and got mowed over by a piper. They both died.
That's brutal.
Piper was fine, but that beach wasn't a good call, right?
Yeah.
We joked about setting up for a power-off forced approach into the middle of the new Apple construction site.
So if you see something in that new Apple complex that works...
It's a complete nightmare.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
There's rooftops, though, that are so long. They're as long as the spaceship.
This beautiful work of art.
Pretty cool. So what do you think of those rooftops?
I think they're for sunshade. I'm not sure I trust 2,500 pounds on them.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are parking garage. Hey, look at the size of that thing, dude. But see, really, could you land in the middle of that? I don't know. And then you're going to be like barreling at some developer's desk.
At that point, we continued our tour toward Google, but we continued the discussion about forced approaches over populated areas, like why we didn't consider the freeway right beside Apple.
We had a guy take off out of Concord. He had an engine failure. He powered back and went for the freeway, and he was fine. But
it's here, Pop. After you go over to the Google campus, so where do you plan on heading? Looks like we're doing NASA, Google, and then Facebook would be next, and then back towards San Carlos. Copy that.
So they landed on the freeway, but they cut the leg off of a 6-year-old girl on her way home from a soccer game who was driving home in a minivan. Never saw him falling out of the sky, right? These are not successful forced landings. Like, if we're choosing to be up here, I don't care if you have to fly the thing into a brick wall. Don't take people on the ground with you, right? And it bugs me because a lot of pilots aren't that good at it. And if they just got a little bit better by practicing more, they wouldn't be killing people on the ground. Anyway, soapbox speech over. But there's, that's NASA right there. And they do all sorts of, like, research testing. This is Moffett Field, NASA Ames Research, and then turn left to catch Google right there.
Right now?
Yeah. It's either this one down to your left right now, or the next one.
With the pink and purple,
yeah.
Blue.
Cessna 458 here, Papa Falls Tower. Altimeter 2987, transition approved.
Roger that, thank you, ma'am. And we'd like to head up to Facebook. Do you want us on is this trajectory okay for you, or are we in your way in any way?
Actually, it's fine. There's traffic 12 o'clock and 2 miles. It's going to be landing the spot helicopter at 1,200.
Okay, we'll be looking for the helicopter, 458 Sierra Papa.
There's Facebook.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The whole world logging in right now. Look at the roof of that building. Isn't that cool? It's a green roof completely.
Is that part of Facebook too? Let's make a turn to get that.
It's a totally green roof. And yeah, look at that green roof, man.
San Carlos Tower 458 Sierra Papa, just leaving Palo Alto's airspace inbound for landing.
458 Sierra Papa, San Carlos Tower, make straight in runway 30, clear to land.
Straight in for 30, runway 30, clear to land, 458 Sierra Papa.
So he's going to follow the highway to our final?
Yes. You see the runway?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to do my downwind check.
Okay.
And just like our first field choice in the mountains, A closer look at this busy freeway is a reminder that a landing option that might look good from up high may become a clearly poor choice as you get closer.
Tower check is complete. It's going to be a 14 knot wind from 2.7 or 2.4, what do you say?
2.7, and I have to tell you, dude, it's always squirrely here. This will be good crosswind practice because of the mechanical turbulence coming through those buildings.
Wind 26010.
That's going to be a pretty good crosswind. Well, no, it's only 10 knots.
Well,
but it's, you're saying...
I'm saying it's, yeah. San Carlos is always a little funky. The airport should really be pointed that way.
I'll just go with 20 flaps?
Yeah, that's good.
That black thing in the middle of the runway is not a problem. It's
correct,
just
yeah, it's a little piece of asphalt. Doesn't match. Good eye, though. This is where all that tail wheel flying pays off, huh?
Oh, we'll see. Not done yet.
Theoretically, make sure the power's all the way out.
It is.
More right rudder, more. Oof. All right. You got me saying oof.
Is that bad?
Wasn't that bad.
I was trying to keep my wing down, you know?
So I hope you enjoyed that one as much as I enjoyed flying it. And again, we've just expanded the contest. It's completely crazy. It is worth $6,000 worth of stuff right there. So please definitely check out flightshops.com for your chance to win. Share it. It helps me out to let the sponsors know that you like this content. And hitting the subscribe and like buttons put the videos in the YouTube algorithm so they get shared more widely. And of course, keep your flight chops sharp.
Alright, so now we're just flying home, right?
Well, we have to cancel IFR.
Yeah.
You ready for breakfast at the Sky Kitchen?
Yeah.
Alright, man, let's go do it.
I need to feed my brain. It's completely numb.
This is what I do every day. So when you're in Toronto and you're thinking, what the heck's Jason doing right now? It's probably this.